Do any of you feel like you're watching a weird episode of Star Trek when you watch Beneath the Planet of the Apes?
You overlook the unpleasant alternative of punishment.
Covenant, calling Raven.
Payback time.
Come with me if you want to live.
You just don't turn it off!
The sole survivor of an interplanetary rescue mission searches for the only survivor of the previous expedition. He discovers a planet ruled by apes in an underground city run by telepathic humans. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. You're watching Backtrack Cinema, where we talk about movies of the past that you know and love. And we're continuing the review series for Planet of the Apes, this time Beneath the Planet of the Apes, the sequel to the original Planet of the Apes. And this one is a weird fucking movie, to say the fucking least, man. It does very few things right and a lot wrong, in my opinion. I'm sure there are fans of this one. I'm sure there are, but I was told by many that, yeah, just stay away from the sequels, which I think is wrong. You should not stay away from these sequels, but this movie here may be the reason why people say that. There's some enjoyable things throughout the rest of these sequels, even though what we've been saying, they are dated, right? They're from the 70s, and they're from a franchise that this is before, franchises were franchises, really. This is even before Dirty Harry. I really just didn't think they had a plan and knew where they were going with each movie, really. And it shows that here. I really think it shows that here. Beneath the Planet of the Apes was released in 1970, directed by Ted Post, and starring James Franciscus, Kim Hunter, Maurice Evans, and Linda Harrison. So the big problem here with Beneath the Planet of the Apes is this a retread. The first half of this movie is an absolute retread of the first movie. You get a different astronaut coming in. You get the captain dying. Same kind of setup and everything. You see him going along, this new character of Brent, trying to find Taylor. And at the beginning of this movie, we see Taylor kind of like just disappear somewhere. And that's the last we see of him until the third act of this movie. But we see this character, Brent, going along, going through the same beats of the first Planet of the Apes, which we did not need to do, because it doesn't even do it that well. You're just retreading the character of Brent. He doesn't have the screen presence. He doesn't have the charisma that Charlton Heston had. So it's very boring, I find. See, when Charlton Heston delivered his lines, it was over the top. You know what I mean? But there was something because of his charisma and everything. But when this guy does it, it comes off really bad. Like when he sees the city of apes, he's peeking through the bushes. He goes, "My God, it's a city of apes!" Like that. It just makes me laugh every time. They're just walking us through the society of the apes again. Everything we've already learned. They're not bringing anything new yet at this point. You know what I mean? I feel like Cornelius and Zira, they're really sidelined in this. I mean, they help Brent escape. Just feel like they could have been utilized a lot better. Now, I will say the pacing, I think, is a little better in this movie, up to a certain point anyway. Chase sequences, again, I think are pretty good. Everything's bigger. You know what I mean? There's a lot more extras. You see a whole city of the apes, and there's a lot more extras, and the makeup still looks good and all that kind of stuff. They're doing everything like that pretty good. And instead of the Statue of Liberty scene, Brent finds an underground subway where it's New York and everything like that, and he starts piecing together, that this is Earth, that he's actually on Earth 4,000 years later. And, we already seen that before, even though I did like the little subway sequence and everything like that. I thought that was kind of cool, where he finds out it's New York and everything like that. And Nova is there again, trying to find Taylor with him. You get more eye candy, beautiful, beautiful woman, like I said. And this time you get to hear her talk a bit. She actually says Taylor. And all that kind of stuff. And then in the third act, this is where we find Taylor underground on this planet, where there's these mutated telepathic beings. And this is where it reminds me of an old Star Trek episode. Something you'd see out of Star Trek, not something here. It's jarring. I think it's stupid. I just do not like this, where they take this. For one thing, it does not make any sense to me. These telepathic humans were exposed to radiation from the bomb, and they worship this big atom bomb and all that. And I just think, oh my, this is stupid. This is absolutely stupid. This is where this movie completely and utterly loses me. And these mutants, these human mutants, they can talk telepathically to each other. They don't have to talk to each other. They claim they're this these peaceful people, but they get other people to kill each other as they make, Brent and Taylor try to kill each other and all that. And they just been hiding underground, just worshiping this atom bomb. This is the 70s, the threat of nuclear arms. This is, I guess, what they're trying to say, but the execution is just absolutely horrible. One thing I did like is though when they actually take a mask off, so what you thought there was their human skin wasn't, and underneath is you see all the radiation poisoning they've been exposed to. Still doesn't make sense. They shouldn't even be alive with all the radiation poisoning. I mean, if they would have put something in there, said it was a real slow slow radiation kill that it just passed on and passed on and passed on, you know what I mean? And you do get some good action sequences in this third act here, but it's just the storyline of this movie is this incredibly dull, incredibly boring. Doesn't make sense to me. And then the way they end the movie with them, they just blow the whole planet up. They deliver this. They use the atom bomb and blow the whole planet up. And it's just like, to end a movie like that now, could you imagine ending a sequel to a classic movie that you saw, and they did that? They just killed everyone off. Of course, with the next movie, we know not everyone got killed, but really dumb, man. There's nothing really iconic. There's nothing really exciting. The lead is not as good. Once Charlton Heston's back, I think in a way it kind of gets better, but you got to have a good story. And the story, this really brings this movie down. And I think it's just not good, guys. It's just not good. It didn't work for me anyway. It didn't work for me. This is the one where the effects feel pretty dated with, Taylor disappearing into beneath the planet and everything, the fire. It does have some horrific imagery with all the apes burning and crucified upside down and stuff like that. But other than that, man, there's not a lot to this movie I like, man. I just don't have a lot to say about this one. This one's one that I think I personally feel you're just going to be bored of it. You may like the mutant people who are telepathic. You may like that angle, but it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. So I'm going to give Beneath the Planet of the Apes a D. Well, what about you guys? Let me know in the comments below what you think of this movie. You think I'm off my rocker about this? But did this movie work for you? Let me know. Explain it to me. Explain why you like this movie if you like it. But if you're like me, let's talk about that too. And yeah, this has been a lot of fun going through these Apes movies with you guys. And, stay to the end card. I'll put related content there and, keep having fun on the channel. And I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, all that kind of stuff. My name is Jason. You're watching Backtrack Cinema. I will see you next time, and I will see you in the movies. Cheers.